Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here, weatherweb.net. Thanks again for watching. It is Tuesday, the 2nd of April. Now, over the last few days, we've been watching the possibility of temperatures rising, and again, you can see that on the temperature chart here from the GFS Ensemble. It's the red line that we're following across here, and you can see how we kind of lift up towards the end of this week. This is the 7th to the 9th, but then just look what happens next week. We see this larger rise in temperatures, getting us almost to the dizzy heights of 15 degrees. And it's interesting to see where the CFS takes us as well. This is the CFS for London, and this is the longer range, so you do have to treat this with a pinch of salt. You know, the dynamics that go into this model aren't obviously as strong as the dynamic. Well, they are as strong as the dynamics that go into the general GFS. But what you've got to bear in mind is that this is trying to forecast so far in the future, so you kind of just use it as a little bit of guidance. And what I want to show you is, look at this sharp rise in temperature here that the CFS sees, taking us all the way up to the middle to the end part of the month, and then brings a dip off in temperatures before we pick up slightly again into the early part of May. But this is kind of hinting that we may find a brief spell of milder weather on its way, particularly in the second half of the month. Got some problems before we get there though. ECMWF seeing things turning unsettled. This is the chart for the 8th. So this is Monday the 8th of April. Notice the low pressure out here towards the west. On Tuesday, deep area low pressure still to the west. Look, we've got this trough out here. Strong winds, heavy rain too. Then on Wednesday, it brings the low across the country. By Thursday the 11th, it's got the low just east of Scotland. And then by Friday the 12th, it's got the low just east of Scotland again, with this ridge starting to build out to the west. Now, that all looks quite plausible as far as the ECMWF is concerned, but note that chart from the 12th, and then look at the chart from the Canadian. This is for the same time. It has the ridge across the UK, it has the trough, the deep trough, out towards the west. Compare that to the GFS Ensemble, and again it has the ridge through the UK, it has the trough out towards the west. Now the GFS Ensemble does tend to flatten things out a little bit, and it doesn't make as much of the areas of low pressure, so you kind of have to go in between these two, but I can't help thinking again we need to lean more towards the GFS Ensemble. And then we get into the 13th of April, and look, the ridge is building through. By the 14th it's there again, and on the 15th it's there too, and we've got this mild by then southwesterly flow coming across the country. Not quite so dry for Scotland and for Western Ireland, but for most it's a drier, warmer middle part of the month. And those ideas are backed up by the CFS and the long range. This is the CFS running from the 9th to the 15th, and this is 500 millibar height anomalies. And you can see here this big area of high pressure. It tries to bring all the above normal height anomalies down to the south. It builds the trough out towards the west. Then for week 3, from the 16th to the 22nd, look, it gets the ridge built right in across the country, keeps that trough out in the Atlantic, keeps the trough further towards the east, and it's this that's building our ideas of this milder weather coming in for a time. However, not completely dry, because if we look at week 4, what that is trying to hint at is the high getting squeezed away towards the north up here, low pressure coming towards the south, the jet stream developing south of us again, and this could bring a return to a cooler east to northeasterly winds with some outbreaks of rain, particularly across the south of the country. It looks as if this is probably a fairly brief spell of milder weather. And so we can get an idea there as to where we're going to go. But I've got to say that the real crux as to how mild it becomes during this month is to do with that trough that's out towards the west. And of course, we'll keep you updated on that right the way through. So once again, thanks for watching weatherweb.net. Remember, we kept free of charge by the adverts you see around the screen here. By you coming back and using the site and using the adverts, that's what keeps us free of charge. So thank you for doing that, and have a great day. Bye for now. And keep the sun shining.